Hey, Positive Power fans, this is Ginger Star. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Positive Power. And today's word of the day is going to be always. So, for those of you who are following us at home, don't forget to count how many times that the word always has been used during this interview. There's two for you right there. The first one with the winning comment, they will get a shout out in the next video. We always do our shout out videos before we do interview videos. So I am excited. And I have a very good friend of mine that I would like to introduce. Her name is Rose Marie Machario. She is an author, she is an actress, she is a pinup model, a filmmaker, and a producer. Guys, she is living my life. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
You know what? She is great. And that is one of my favorite positive power words. So, your challenge for today is to use the word always. And again, guys, don't forget to hit the power button for those of you who are still with us. What is the power button? It is the subscribe button. And don't forget to like, comment, and share. It's what allows us to continue to producing this content for you guys. All right. So, I really want to know, like, so you started out as a model before you got into acting, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So what inspired you to go from modeling to acting?
I had always wanted to be an actress since I was a little girl, but I gave up on that dream. I modeled some in my 20s, but this was before the digital age. So everything was on film and you had to go and have it developed. I was, I looked forward to the digital age, I guess. It was pretty neat. And I always made sure that I kind of go back to my roots and, you know, still model in the traditional sense of, pretending like it is like a camera that's not digital, that it's going to be on film. So you become a little bit more meticulous about it. But I enjoy it just because it's kind of like acting, because you're still playing a character and utilizing being that character that you're modeling as, I suppose. So whenever it was suggested to me that I get into acting and how I can go around and roundabout and do that, I was like, okay, yes, let's do this. It's okay that I'm older. Let's try it.
And we've talked to a couple of voice actors on this show. In your opinion, what is the biggest difference between voice acting and like acting for film? What is the biggest difference between the two?
I've not really done any voice acting per se. I've auditioned for some voice work, and I've done a little bit of voice work for like album intros or different things of that nature, but I've not been able to do any voice acting per se where I could say I did that and it can go on the resume. So I would say that it's more difficult. Most of the time, from what I've heard, it helps to have your own equipment unless they bring you into a studio to do the voice work. So I think it's equally just as demanding, between learning your lines and still bringing that character out. And I would think that it would be a little harder being just a voice actor to represent that character and always make sure that you're like bringing it to life, even though no one's seeing you per se. Mm-hmm. So you have to imagine what the scenario would be, whether it's a cartoon or an anime, or it's still, you have to kind of feel that direction, even though you're not physically doing said direction. So I would think that it would be more demanding to be a voice actor, to be honest, but I'm just guessing. I'm not always right on these things, but I'm just guessing.
Okay. And I know like you've had roles like you've appeared on Netflix and you've appeared on ABC and that kind of thing. Would you maybe have like any advice for anyone who's maybe starting out in the world of acting? Like, what advice would you give someone who might want to enter that profession?
Just do it. Um,
Always just do it.
yes, always just do it. Look for casting calls. It took me a little while to kind of get the swing of things, and that was before having an agent with the Talent Track Agency in Knoxville. But um, I would kind of look on, Facebook for, casting directors and things like that, and I would follow them. And if they happen to post things that I might kind of fit the demographic for, then I would submit photos and information. And it's, you either get a yes or a no, but you're still putting yourself out there and trying, because you can't do it if you don't try. And you never know what's going to happen or who's going to pick you up, and unless you always make sure that you put yourself out there and try. So definitely look for any posts, follow them. A lot of casting directors will have things online that you can submit your information and photos, and then they will kind of go through, and if you kind of look the part or fit the demographic, then they contact you and send you an email of, this is just an opportunity to submit for this if you're available, type of thing. So, and then after a while, once you get enough things under your belt, because if you're always putting yourself out there and you're putting yourself available for, background roles or featured things, then you're going to have a little bit of a nice little resume, and those still count. So then you're able to submit to agencies, to get yourself an agent. And you have to have an agent in order to get any principal or, speaking roles, and or bigger castings or bigger auditions. So you have to do your homework, and you have to, make sure that you always apply to where, you're fitting this demographic. And you got to make sure that you're always at least honest about your availability. That's important. If you don't even think that you're going to be available during the time, then don't submit for it. Because if you end up getting it, but then you're not available, then it's like wasting everyone's time. So you always got to make sure that you do your homework, basically, and don't give up. I mean, it can be discouraging at first. Like if you're really wanting to become an actor, and if you're, that is your heartfelt dream, but don't get discouraged. Don't fret about what your friends are getting or not getting. You got to always make sure that, you're doing this for you. Don't covet what your neighbor has, basically, because they might have a totally different look or demographic about them that sets them apart from you. But then you also have your own unique look or demographic that someone might be looking for. And, you can't start out and, quit your day job automatically thinking, okay, I'm just going to become an actor. Now, if you're financially okay and, you don't have to worry about, bills being paid or eating, then sure, just, just totally quit whatever you're doing and, go on to acting. But you should look at acting as something that you enjoy doing and you love doing, and not look at it as a career or just a job, because it's not just a job. I mean, your heart and soul goes into acting, and your heart and soul don't go into your 9 to 5 unless you're lucky enough to do something that you absolutely love and enjoy doing. And that's what your dream job is. But as far as acting goes, I mean, that's a little bit different, but don't allow like naysayers to say you can't do it, or your friends to make fun of you, or your significant other or family, to get in the way of your dream. Don't allow them to hurt your feelings like, oh, well, I don't know why you're wasting your time with that. I mean, there's going to be naysayers. One out of the bunch is going to be a naysayer, but don't let them get to you. You got to always worry about yourself and what is right for you, but just don't give up. Always big, right?
Yeah. Yes, always.
Another thing, as far as like acting goes, while you are in the process of trying to land auditions, or submitting for background, or any of these things that you're working on, whether you have an agent, don't have an agent, always continue to work on your craft. And there are many opportunities for acting classes, whether they're online or in person. It just depends on where you're located and what's available to you. But if you don't have any local in person, there are plenty of online classes. Russell Sams has an excellent class called The Actor's Way In. And I recommend that highly for an online acting class. Another thing is, as far as reverting back to not allowing naysayers or to getting any feedback, I wouldn't worry about feedback from anyone else unless they are a casting director, an agent, your fellow actors. Those are your peers. And that's the only feedback that would actually count in this scenario, because if someone is not an actor, or they're not trying to break into the acting world, they are not going to understand at all. And you have to always make sure that when you are striving to do these things, it's really good to make connections into the acting world. Other fellow actors, other fellow background actors, featured actors, anybody that you can speak to about it to get more feedback. I was very fortunate that once I was kind of getting my foot in the door with background acting, there were other more seasoned actors that were doing more principal roles. They had agents, and they gave great advice on what to do next, because I had no idea. I was just trying out to see if I liked it. Maybe that childhood dream wasn't something I really wanted to do, but it turns out that I do enjoy it, and I like working in front of the cameras just as much as learning to work behind the camera. So not as far as like filming, but like physical filming. But I've only directed a few things, so I just wanted to kind of dabble in that just a little bit. And I've only written a few screenplays, but it's just dabbling. I'm just kind of seeing if I liked it. But I do, and I could actually see myself in the future doing more writing, and maybe directing more. And maybe I'll be lucky and branch out and be able to direct someone else's film instead of something I've written. So maybe one day.
Actually, it's interesting that you mentioned writing, because one of my favorite books that has been out was the Amulet of Elements.
Hmm?
And the one with the princess, and she has to save the world from what was it, a shape-shifting wizard. Yes, that was good. Yes. That was a fun, interesting story, because I myself kind of have a I wouldn't say a similar story, but I've always been about like princesses and saving the world and superheroes and stuff like that. Um, but you have another book coming out pretty soon, don't you?
The sequel, it is finally coming out on June 21st. And for my fellow pagans out there, it is Litha, summer solstice. And the basis, a lot of the time frame basis that the first book was, when Princess Illyria got her powers was during, the summer solstice. And, she received, her first powers of Litha and things of that nature. And so in the second book, we're back around the same time frame. So I thought it was more fitting to release the book on the summer solstice. So June 21st.
And guys, if you want to go check it out, I am going to put it in the links down below at the end of this video. It's called The Face of the Realm. You guys are going to love that. And you even produced your own show. Can you tell us about the show that you produced?
Um, well, I wasn't an active producer just yet on Dream Big. I was working on it. But with COVID and everything that kind of happened, Dream Big fell to the wayside. I don't know if I'm going to revive it or not. I'm still kind of pondering that. It will get a makeover. My column that it came from, as far as like the idea to do a show, it was originally a column that I called Dream Big. So that is getting a makeover in baby steps. I've already revamped the name. So I call it Always Dream Big, just because that is something that you should never give up on dreaming big. You should always dream big, no matter what. And whenever I sign my books or autograph 8x10s, I always say, always dream big, after my signature, because, even that little bit of inspiration and positivity, it goes a long way, even if it may only be one or two people. If I know that I'm inspiring others, even in the smallest of ways, then I will always do it no matter what.
You know what? I'm going to pull a fan poll here because there are a lot of fans that you have out there that are going to be watching this interview. So, guys, if you are watching, comment below on whether or not if you guys want to see her reproduce the show. Always dream big, make it bigger, make it better, and hopefully, uh, how many fans would you say that would have to comment that would inspire you to do the show? Because I feel like there's a lot of pull and fan power.
There is. It would have to be a substantial amount, because I would have to actually utilize that to try to pitch it to someone to have a little bit bigger help. I can't just be a one woman show to, write it, film it, produce it, get it out there. I would need help. So so we shall see. I would have to have probably a lot of fan power in order to say, hey, network, blah, 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 blah. I'm pitching this show to you. And I have all of these people that are backing me that, want to see it come back. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So fans that are following this, comment below if you want to see her bring back the show. There's power in the voice, there's power in the fans. Comment below, support her. We want to see, I personally want to see it happen.
Hashtag it, always dream big.
Always dream big. Comment below if you want to see it. Don't forget to also comment always dream big. That's her catchphrase for the show, guys. So keep that in there. Comment below. We're going to support her 110%. We are a voice, we are a people. So let's make this happen. And if you need a video editor, I'm just throwing it out there. You know, I'm good at what I do. So I'm told.
Awesome.
It for the fans that are following that may not know where to find you, what social media platforms do you have out there that you can be reached at?
Currently, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. I try to get as many followers organically because I feel that organic followers, they're going to be more apt to always check in and follow what I am doing, what I am saying, what I'm posting. And to me, having organic followers that, I can, if they message me on Facebook or Instagram, even though I might be a little slow in responding, I do try to respond. And with the book launch that's coming up soon, that's a lot of promoting. And being that I write the series for adults, there'll be a lot more adult fun things in the second book. So don't let your teenagers read it, not unless you allow them to like read Game of Thrones or watch Game of Thrones on TV. So it's for adults. Enjoy it, adults. I'm giving you everything that you love in a young adult, but it's for adults. It's for us. Have a glass of wine with it and just sit down, enjoy it, or a hot mug of tea or coffee or whatever your beverage of choice is, and find a quiet spot to just put your feet up, forget about your pile of laundry and dirty dishes, and just read to your heart's content. Because the second book is going to be a lot meatier and juicier and more nummies to be. It's probably one of my favorites between the first book and the second book. It's my favorite. I always enjoy editing the books because I get to reread them over and over and over again, and I never get tired of it. I still laugh in the places where you laugh, and I still cry in the places that, either you tear up or you stream tears, you get angry, at characters or feel connected to the characters. So I try to make sure that it's like a roller coaster of emotions and just an all around feel good vibe to the whole book and to the series.
So, guys, comment below if you want to see her produce the show. Always dream big. Go buy the book. You guys will not be disappointed. I promise you. Follow her, follow her, follow her. Comment, comment, comment. And I'll go back to her too. I'll be like, hey, you have like over 1,000 people like commenting, like saying that they want this thing produced. I will go back to her and be like, we got to get this thing going. You got to do it now because you got the fan support.
Right.
So just keep commenting, commenting, commenting. I will read the comments. I'll look at them. And she might even sneak over on the page every now and then to see what's going on with the fan support too. So comment below. We are getting ready to head out. But as always, guys,
dream big.
Yes, dream big and stay positive.
Yes. Positivity gets the worm.